This is an introduction to the story that was known as the worst mass murders in U.S. history in the 1970s. It is a 5-part story of what things were like before modern day media, i.e., YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. With these media apps, we can now pass info of missing children/people out within seconds, so police and society know in real time if a cluster of children are missing, unlike the town where all these boys went missing from. I hope you like my voice because I do the reading in all 5 parts. And from what I understand, this story has about been lost through time and because of more events that have happened. And I want to and I just don't want these boys forgotten. In total, they have so far found over 30 boys that was victims of this man. And they believe that there could have been many more before the 2 teenagers started assisting. So, not to enjoy, but I hope you all enjoy the story. It is 5 parts, so you don't have to take it all in at one time. Um, this was just to point out that YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, they are useful tools as far as getting the message out about missing children. Imagine what it would have been like if they'd have had this back then. You have to remember during this story, there was a whole town, and from one side of town to the other, they had no clue that the other children were missing. 30 kids went missing over 3 years, and they just assumed they were runaways. So these are useful apps, useful media outlets. And I just hope that people, society, will understand that YouTubers and YouTube themselves or itself is not a bad thing. It is useful as long as it is used in the correct manner. So I hope you enjoy the 5-part series, and Mrs. Mary Scott in the house in the Heights that her family owned when her son Mark disappeared on April 20th, 1972. Dean Corll. Corll was also known as the Candyman and the Pied Piper because he and his family had previously owned and operated a candy factory in Houston Heights, and he had been known to give free candy to local children. Dean Arnold Corll, December 24th, 1939 to August 8th, 1973, was an American serial killer, pederast, who abducted, tortured, and unalived a minimum of 28 teenage boys and young men between 1970 and 1973 in Houston and Pasadena, Texas. He was aided by 2 teenage accomplices, David Owen Brooks and Elmer Wayne Henley. The crimes, which became known as the Houston mass murders, came to light after Henley fatally shot Corll upon discovery. It was considered the worst example of serial murder in U.S. history. Henley left and David Brooks right, pictured at High Island Beach, August 10th, 1973. The story was originally written by Skip Hollandsworth. Well, I hope that gets y'all's attention. I hope you listen to all 5 parts, guys, because it's a story like I've never heard before. This is just unbelievable. Love your kids, love your parents, love yourself, and God bless all of you. I'll see you next week.